recall getting up today at around 9 in the morning after an alarm I set for 4 in the morning failed to go off upon me accidentally somehow shifting the laptop so that the charger disconnected from the charging port, and thus, while I was sleeping, the computer ended up disconnecting. Ended up turning off due to the battery draining. Due to the battery draining and the charger not being connected before the alarm could go off. And I ended up having to reconnect the charger to the charge port, and then wait for the laptop to be shut for a period of time by me. To me, that period was roughly 40 minutes because I think I spent some of that time finishing the styrofoam I had started working on last night. It took some time ultimately to prepare this. This is a simply Asia dish, the spicy Mongolian. And I've got it with a glass of milk. I finished the styrofoam I started working on yesterday during the early morning hours of today, as Mom made a breakfast for me of coffee, plus a bit later, the pad thai meal of the same brand, Simply Asia. I was thinking of going into the pool today at around 3:10 p.m., but I ended up not doing that when Mom was on the phone at the time. Besides, at that time already, if she hadn't been on the phone, we only would have had roughly 20 minutes before it would be time to go take a shower. And so I ended up just going back to work on my styrofoam drawing that I had been working on prior to me taking a shower and getting dressed today, so that we could, around 6 p.m., if I recall, we could go to BTB's, aka Bathtub Billy's. That's located within the Grease Ridge Mall. And sing some karaoke. I had planned on bringing either the styrofoam I was working on, or I think more likely in my mind, a new styrofoam block in order to start a new project, because I felt pretty pleased with how the project I got roughly 60% of the way done was turning out to be. And I felt that I didn't want to risk damaging a project that in my eyes was turning out to be pretty well. In Stronghold Kingdoms today, my research focused on gaining the ability to recruit catapults, into my armies. Of course, with that sort of realization, comes the need to raise more tax revenue, because hiring a catapult costs 200 gold. currently still at the point where I'm researching the ability to build siege workshops so that I can produce what's needed to recruit catapults at all, which is something you can only exclusively have if you're attacking, not if you're defending. But that's balanced out by the Sally Forth research, which allows knights to come out of your keep while you are defending. So it's ultimately balanced out in the end. There's just one piece of that I'm missing out of this set. And I believe I may have rearranged it early this morning. Possibly. In order to more closely conform to the set as it appears on this picture. My orc settlement currently looks like this. I'm changing it up a bit to account for potential increases in the size of the orc portal site. This is where I'm at currently in terms of the task sets. I've got roughly 4 days to complete the remaining task sets. At BTB, I got talked out of bringing a blank block of styrofoam plus the electric pop markers set. Unfortunately, considering it's Friday, or it was Friday night at BTB, they went a little into overtime until about 11:30 p.m. And even so, I only got to sing about 3 songs. I sung Imagine by the Beatles, technically, but the person running the karaoke machine said it was by John Lennon. Then I sang Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash. And then lastly, I sang Mambo Number 5 by Lou Bega. It was that middle performance for which all the people who were here tonight seemed to like the most. It was that performance for which I ended up getting significant applause by everyone at the end. And yeah, that was, now that I think of it, that's the only new song I did tonight. The first one and the last one I had both done during an earlier night of karaoke at some point. I felt pretty bored at karaoke night at BTP's. I got the large poutine app again, and combined with that, I got the entree of the fish fry because they had a $13, I think 95-cent price deal for Friday on the fish fry entree, which came with a side of coleslaw. Apparently it's sliced cabbage mixed with mayo and other vegetables, typically eaten as a salad, but if it comes with mayo, it may not be the healthiest possible salad. It seemed to be a mixture of carrots and the aforementioned cabbage. And today was the day I reached the rank of Squire, or the 15th rank in Stronghold Kingdoms. During the early morning hours, I kind of did some research and thought about what to do regarding my ongoing copyright strike, regarding one of my old high school graduation videos. I sent an expanded and reworked third email to the copyright holder. The copyright claim was against the whole video, which I addressed in this updated message. And actually, this third message was the first time it mentioned retracting the copyright complaint in the hopes that after I'm identified of the music, the audio that caused the involved in the copyright complaint, I could edit the video to replace the offending audio. YouTube's content ID system seemed to miss that. Excuse me. A copyright claimant seemed to be an employee of a music rights group. So in this case, they could only own audio that played while I filmed the video with, like this, with one of my smartphones at the time. So they can't own the whole video because that was my video. Just like how this video is my video because I filmed, and in the case of these days, edited it in UCut. I didn't edit that particular video in UCut, the graduation number 5 of high school video, because I think back then I had the YouTube app, YouTube Capture app, and that really only pretty much offered the ability to upload the individual video clips to YouTube. While that was going on, I also did some reconnecting with an old friend, which led to the rediscovery I think of their YouTube channel with all the videos I remember after they commented on my video of me trying caviar, which is one of my old classics video. On my YouTube channel. Excuse me, all of this took place at roughly between 10 and 11:30-ish a.m. Also, right before we went for BTBs, there seemed to be a new Duolingo story, but it felt oddly familiar, that Drawing in the Park story. Happened to feature Lily. Yeah, though it felt oddly familiar. Maybe it was either updated or reintroduced to Duolingo stories after being briefly removed in the update I installed for the Duolingo app yesterday. While I was at BTBs, I did some mildly productive things, such as deleting videos I had already uploaded to YouTube at this point, as well as checking the blood donor app which led to me finding out I'm eligible to donate blood and platelets now. They still counted that first platelet donation, even though it didn't really succeed. It kind of stopped right before they even turned that machine on. So technically I've got 0 platelet donations, but the app says I have 1. And I think the app says I have 24 blood donations, but I think I only have 22. And apparently they hand out rewards for the platelets, but not necessarily for the whole blood donations. For dessert at BTB's near the very end at roughly 10:30 p.m. I got the giant cookie dessert with ice cream, whipped cream, and cherries. Along with some hot fudge. The first adult beverage I ordered of the night was a mojito. Due to me hearing about it from the first College Humor video of If Google Was a Guy, Quarantine Edition. But they seem to prepare it completely differently from how the video described it. And I didn't really like it, so me and Mom ended up swapping. I ended up having her vodka cranberry drink. I got the peanut butter cup cocktail that comes with milk. That I think is a White Russian. Has milk and comes with that peanut butter cup in order to serve as garnish. And which ends up being the very last thing I eat typically. And I don't really recall having any other alcoholic beverages for tonight. After that point, I just had some water and chewed some ice. And I also did a bit of work on the 99th can hamming. Primarily some work on these, I think the 6 video file within Beyond Studio.